All right, y'all. Got some downtime here. And I just had some time to talk a little bit about some other stuff going on in WMMA. Yeah, another late one. Still working, but just got some downtime. So I said, let me jump on here, man. Lolita, what's up? Mojo. Brian, what's up? He said, how you feeling? Oh, I feel great. I feel the same. Still got to go through with what I got. Still got to go through with what I got to do, but yeah, I'm still fine. Just doing my downtime stream. Peer.s. What's up? I just wanted to talk a little bit about y'all's girl here, Gabi Garcia, a little bit. Gabi Garcia, man, like, yeah, I want to talk about her because I never really talk about her on this channel too much. I don't think I have. Like, I maybe discussed her like a couple of times, but now that she's trying to make a comeback after like 5 years off, I kind of just like, realized she was gone. I mean, I'm not trying to poke fun or nothing, but I'm just saying, like, was she really like a big part of WMMA to all of y'all? Like, was Gabi Garcia like this big fighter? I mean, yeah, she's big, but was she like this big pillar in WMMA over the past few years where since she's been gone, have y'all felt like something was missing? So I just wanted to talk a little bit about her now that we got a few people in here. Yeah, what's up, y'all? Yeah, like I said, I'm still, yeah, I'm fine, but feeling fine, but yeah, I got to do what I got to do Friday. Yeah, Brian said nobody's ever been talking about Gabi because she's only been a sideshow. Right, yeah. And I mean, that's not necessarily all her fault. I mean, she's in a weight class of her own. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really see anybody that's going to be. I don't see anybody or like a whole group of women running to be heavyweights. But yeah, let's see. Gabi Garcia, it just caught my eye because yeah, I saw this on IG, and she was talking about getting back into the cage, and she still feels like she's got something to offer after 5 years away. And in that meantime, I mean, like, there wasn't really like a great deal like I saw that was impressive out of her besides her, size. Like, that's like the big attraction, like you were saying, kind of like a sideshow, right? That's like the main thing about her. She's what, 6-0, fought in Rising, who's not really known as like having like the best competition, the stiffest competition. And like I said, with somebody her size, it's going to be hard to get some legit heavyweights. I mean, I'm sure there's women around the world that can fight in that weight class, like, underground women somewhere. There's women somewhere around this world that have that size, but they don't really fight to fight like that for a career. They can just fight because they're not a scrap, but just because they big, right? So she's just kind of in a lane of her own, and that's what kind of makes her career suffer. That, and a lot of men don't want to see heavy. They don't want to see WMMA, period. But you don't men don't really want to see women like this either. They really don't want to see women this size. So let's see. Gabi said Gabi's comeback is set to take place at 195 pounds. Gabi's returning to MMA after over 4 years. Yeah, so she's been out for like 5 years, and like, really, I can't name anybody on her resume that she's fought. I mean, sadly. I mean, there was one lady I remember that was a Japanese fighter, and I think she was like, what, almost, somebody said she was like almost 50. I believe. I might be exaggerating, but I thought it was like a 50-year-old woman on her resume. So, yeah, when you see that resume and you can't really remember the resume. It just kind of makes you say, she's not really a fighter I was trying to follow or see come back. And again, it's because she's kind of stuck in that position where you don't really have women fighting like this, heavyweight women. And I don't think that's a division that I think a lot of people will ever see. Like lightweight, yeah, featherweight, yeah, because we do have women that get to that size, and there are a lot of women that have trouble cutting down to 125 or cutting down to 135. So there is going to be a featherweight. There is going to be like a size of women that are kind of thick and that fall in that category. But when you start getting into like the 195 and 200 pounds, it just gets a little bit almost sideshowish to the average fan. You know what I mean? Let me see here. Yeah, really. I mean, honestly, like I said, that's one of the reasons. Like, she's one of the other fighters I don't really mention over here because I don't really see her in there as like this big threat to anybody because there's nobody there for her to fight, and it's hard to take her seriously, because I think she's been popped a few times, right? She's been popped a few times to get that weight off, so I don't know. Let me read through this. Okay, so she said back to the ring by doing my part for this division and other divisions for women in this sport. I can't end my MMA career without my goal to open up opportunities. Hold on. All right, where was I? I can't end my MMA career without my goal to open up opportunities for all divisions. It's time to step into the ring and show the world that every sport I compete in, I am the one who holds the crown. Okay. For everyone who thinks my career is done, I have bad news for you. I'll never stop training. It's time to shine. And it says here, while she's fought the majority of her career in the rising ring, she also had, one-off appearances in Road FC. Garcia has also previously shown interest in fighting Kayla Harrison. Okay. I mean, and really that just shows you like you got to really get a reach, man. Like you really got to you really are at a reach if you got to reach for Kayla. Like Kayla's a big girl, but she's not Kayla's not anywhere near a heavyweight. She's a lightweight. And I'm sure if she was like a heavyweight, she wouldn't really be any better, or it would make the fight any more exciting fighting Kayla Harrison. You know what I mean? So that just shows you like she's trying to build a division or help trying to back a division that doesn't really exist, Oh, Marcus Bell, what's up? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like James Price at 195, put her in there with Yuri while you at. Yeah, I mean, this is a woman that just kind of stands on her own. I mean, and you just got to expect at 37 years old and just a lack of a division, you're never really going to have something like that. You're never really going to have that type of that type of competition. I mean, let's look at her resume anyway. Hold on here. She's done a lot of grappling. Let's see, Stephanie Edgar. She beat Stephanie Edgar in a grappling match. I remember Amanda Levy defeated her. Let's see. Her last MMA bout was in 2018 against Barbara. I can't pronounce that name. Let me see. Let's keep going back. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. So when you look at hold up now. And that's the thing. Like some of these ladies that she was fighting didn't even have fights. Like when she was in her 6th fight, like they were, see, that's what I'm saying. Like they were really having to reach here. Cause all right, let's go to Rise and let's see. Okay. First girl she fought was 0-0 like her. All right. Next girl she fought had 1 win. And that girl hasn't fought since. So she was 1-1. Yumiko Hata, that's like the most known name on her resume, which again, I forget she fought her, who was 5-4. But let's see. Yeah, her first 3 opponents were, let's see, 0-0, 1-0, 1-0. Then even the girls like she fought, and rising after like an eye poke was 0-0, right? So that kind of tells you like they were just kind of reaching to find women that would fight her. Some women just wouldn't even fight her because yeah, some of them were just looking at her size and they're just believing that, oh, she's on steroids too, right? That's one of the reasons why she couldn't really get fights either, right? So yeah, I don't know, man. Like it's not really a it's not really a fighter I've been looking to see come back, and I know a lot of people feel that way. I mean, hey, hate to make it sound harsh, I'm just saying like if there's really nobody out there for you to fight, that's how it kind of works out sometimes too, right? Like you kind of have to, I think, to be a special fighter or to be put on the map. Sometimes you gotta know. Well, you don't know, like you just don't know sometimes, but you have to make sure that you're in a division that has some competition. Like even Valentina's division. People talk about Valentina, but hey, at least there's fighters there that help her look good because she's in a weight class that supports her and supports a lot of women around her. But something like heavyweight, I don't think we'll ever see something like heavyweight, man. Heavyweight for women on a high level, on a professional level, no, like chances of seeing that are very, very low to me. Like I don't really think we'll ever see a heavyweight division. You barely have featherweight put together. You barely have a lightweight division. Only lightweight division you have is in PFL. And the PFL competition isn't even UFC level. You know what I mean? So that's just kind of what it is for them. James said Kayla's bigger than Cyborg. There is no division for her. But if you really put heavyweight in a fight, not really MMA, it could sell, but you will never see a division higher than 155 in MMA with skill. Yeah, for women, yeah, I don't think so. Like, I don't think you'll ever see heavyweight really for women or anything higher, unless there's like one woman that comes along that just has a look or something that attracts a lot of men. Then they'll try to build up that division for her if she's like a lightweight or something. And you know what I mean? Like, it can't be like a Kayla because Kayla's not that popular. You see, like Dana didn't even want to sign her, right? She's definitely not a fighter that could be high level or superstar considered a superstar in the UFC. I'm talking about it have to be like somebody very special for them to go to that level. Kayla bigger than Cyborg? Yeah, she is kind of big, right? She is pretty big. I mean, look at the size of her arms. I mean, look at how wide she is. I mean, Cyborg looked tiny compared to Clarissa Shields. Now, you ever see them spar before? Like, Cyborg looked tiny compared to Clarissa Shields when they were sparring. Like, Kayla doesn't look that much tinier than Clarissa. Like, Clarissa doesn't really make her look that tiny. The last time I was matching them up, hold on, let me see. Let me look at a picture of them. Hang on here. I thought I saw a picture of them together. I can't find it. I'm trying to see if I can find the picture there. No. Anyways, yeah, I wonder though, like, if Kayla was to look a little bit like, how would she look at a fight with Gabi? I mean, if they were to because I'm sure Kayla wouldn't have to cut weight. Kayla wouldn't have to go down to 155. So if she was to walk around like 170 something, Gabi would have to come down to like 170, or they have to meet halfway at like 180. But even then, it's like nobody really has interest in that fight, and I don't think Kayla would want to go over to Rise to fight her, even accept the fight with her in PFL. There's really no interest in it. So yeah, that's why I just wanted to kind of get my thoughts off on that one, because I never really talked about Gabby over. Gabby, she's a Brazilian jiu-jitsu legend. She does her thing in that field. Grappling is her field because you can get submitted no matter how big you are against the smallest person, right? But when it comes down to MMA, you're trying to make weight classes. I just don't really see like her ever being put on the map like that. Like I see these crazy pictures where people are putting up Gabby against Amanda Nunes or Gabby against like Valentina, and I'm just like laughing because that's how much of a reach you have to make it for. Like there's no other fighter out there for her because she's just so big. Like it's kind of like a gift and a curse. Yeah, you like huge and you like this big strong woman, but it's kind of a curse because now you can't really find a weight class fit for you. Look at this picture here. Somebody got a picture of her like against Valentina. Like, how they do the Photoshop face offs. I'm like, that would never happen, man. Like, all Gabby gonna do is just lay on her to win every single round. Then they got one with Kayla Harrison. It's like, let's see. Okay, so this picture has them matched up, and Kayla is 5'8", and she fights at her weight of 155, right? Okay. And Gabby's 6'2", coming in at like 225 pounds in this picture, So, and this is an actual stat for her too. So this girl's coming in at 225 pounds, y'all. 6'2", 225 pounds. She's like a heavyweight, heavyweight boxer, like some of these heavyweight boxers, like Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. But that's like big for a woman, man. So yeah, I don't ever see anything like that happening, so I think Gabby will just continue off where she is. Gabby will just continue off where she is, back in the outskirts of fighting these type of fighters that just come along for a paycheck. You'll never see them again. Because everybody she's fought, you don't see again. You don't see them. Brian said there's an old picture of Gabby back when she looked human. Not the one I'm looking at. She already looks, pretty big. Pretty, suspect there already. I guess if she got popped. Lolita Sagate, Kayla at 200 pounds. I could see that. I could see her at 200 pounds. She's definitely got on her downtime maybe, but like even maybe when she's like in shape walking around, maybe like 170, 180. But I could see her get up to 200, like if she was just like chilling. For sure. Marcus Bell, what's up? He said, "Gabby big and sorry, man." You know, yeah, I'm just like I said, looking at the resume, there was nobody out there that could we could talk about as far as like they could find somebody for. No, look at these forums. Gabby versus Valentina Shevchenko. Yeah, it just shows you there's nobody for her to fight, man. Not her fault, man. I mean, when that size comes into play like that, there's just not a lot of women to be heavyweights. I mean, it was her fault that she got popped once, but no. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm. Gabby may be 200 pounds, but Dern is borderline 200. What? Somebody tried to say Mackenzie Dern was like 200 pounds. No way, man. When they grappled, Mackenzie was probably like 130 something, man. Wow, how Gabby's about to bust out of this one shirt too, just like shoes, man. Like she's just too big, man. Heavyweight women. Let me think. Heavyweight women. Heavyweight women. Um, if they could build a division, I mean, I would watch it, but it's just like you don't really see it too much. So it's not really something I'm trying to petition for or say like we need it because we barely have, like I said, featherweights, and it's hard enough trying to talk about getting featherweight division. So heavyweight, like I said, you got to do research on heavyweight, man. Yeah, Durham's about 125. Yeah, yeah. All right, so you know what's weird? Not much going on as far as WMMA though. Just a lot of average, below average fights right now, man. Like I was just kind of looking at myself, like man, like we don't have, we ain't opening this year up starting with a lot. Usually it seems like the first quarter you try to start it off hot. You know, I mean there are good fights out there, but they're mostly men fights. But like women, they're kind of starting off in a rough on a rough patch of ice right now, man. They kind of slipping here. We got Valentina. I mean Valentina fighting Grasso. That's okay. That's okay. It's not like bad. It's not a bad fight. I think the one that's kind of turning it off for me is Amanda Nunes. Amanda's making this bad choice right now of just holding up the belt. Like if Amanda had chose to fight a rubber match with Pena, I think people would have been fine with that rather than her choose nobody. And excuse me, the Nunes Aldana fight, that would have been a nice fight, to add to that March card. So I think, we would have had a nice little triple header of champions, and that would have got the fans hyped up. But we haven't been too starting off too good. We had already one pull out, Mandy Bohm, Jin Yu Kim, and it wasn't even like the best fight at all. You know what I mean? So that fight's not really that ain't hitting on nothing, even though they're gonna reschedule it. This weekend, all we have is Loma versus Elise Reed. Gabby, what's up? She said March and April is where it begins. Yeah, yeah, there's some okay fights. You know, uh, she might got. I'm missing something. I mean, when is Casey O'Neill, Jennifer Maya? I mean, that's a good fight. Um, in 2 weeks, Blanchfield versus Santos is a decent fight. Even though I didn't really ask for that fight, it's okay. But other than that, it's like, right now, there's nothing really like hitting. And like I said, Nunes not defending her belt right away at the beginning of the year just kind of makes it a little bit lackluster. When the division ain't really like, hold on, when the division isn't really, on fire right now anyway. So fans want to see her do something. But when you just kind of hold it up, it's like, what's the purpose of this? What's the freaking purpose of this right now? Hold on, let me see. Because Amanda Nunes last time she fought was against Pena back in July, and that'll leave her what 6. Yeah, she's already on what July, 6 7 months off already, almost a little over half a year. And before she fought Juliana Pena the first time, she had fought at featherweight, and before that, another featherweight fight. In 2019, she defended her bantamweight belt. So she hasn't really made like too many title defenses of her belt now. You know what I mean? Like the bantamweight belt, like she's a good champion. I mean, she got a good resume, but when you really start analyzing, you be like, wow, like after knocking Holly Holm out and then beating GDR, she took a chill from the bantamweight division. I mean, a hard chill. She came back 2 years later to try to defend her belt, and that's why she lost it. Now she comes back and defends it once again, and now 7 months pass and she's not fighting again. So that's the part of the game though. Like, I understand champions, they want to start negotiating and they want to relax, but this ain't really the time to do it to me, especially when you haven't been defending your bantamweight belt consistently. I mean, last time, yeah, went on her little streak was years ago now. Years ago. So it's really like, do you still want to do this? You just want to leave? What is it? Because the fans are getting restless because this is still entertainment. This ain't something you can just keep holding up. Fans don't want to just keep waiting. They'll stop tuning in after a while if they haven't already. Let me see. Nunez and Pena both on. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Irene is the only one that's kind of getting the raw end here. Irene got to run it back with somebody that, yeah, let's talk about that fight a little bit. Irene and Rocky too. I mean, that's a fight we don't really need or we didn't really ask for, right? And Irene's going to get stuck running it back with somebody that she beat by split decision, could very much beat her this time around. She could very much beat her this time around. Rocky still got the skills. Rocky's still durable. So Rocky could come in there and swoop and take Irene Aldena's title shot. And Irene going to walk out of there cursing Amanda Nunes something terrible, man, because she's going to get the title shot when she felt like she did enough for it. But no, Amanda said, I'm not fighting. Let Irene fight Pena or somebody else because I'm not fighting her. So when all that happens, we just get everybody. We all get we get the bad end of it, man. We get the bad end of the stick, man. But yeah, like what fight are you looking forward to, Gabby? I know you said it's gonna pick up in March or April. Like, I don't have my schedule handy right now for fights. Like, what are some fights you really, really are looking forward to this spring? I guess March and April. What else is banging right now? Is it Macy Barber and Andrea Lee? I'm looking forward to that fight. That's a good one. Hold on, let's see. Yeah, that's March 25th. Okay, yeah, that's when I'm gonna watch in March. Oh yeah, and I'm Montana and Tatiana. I want to see what Tatiana can do. That's coming up in February. So yeah, that's one I'm looking at. Jennifer Maia and Casey O'Neill. When is that fight? So it's about to be 3 flyweight fights that are on my radar. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Where's the date for this fight? I keep forgetting my date sometimes. Hold on. They agreed on it. Where's the date at? Oh, it's for UFC 286. When is UFC 286? March, right? Yeah. March 18th. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, March is gonna pick it up. March has got some okay fights. Decent flyweight fights on the horizon. Juju, yeah, I want to see what Juju can do. I don't really care for Juju's opponent, Veronica Macedo. I think Juju's gonna run through her. Then you got JoJo versus Luana Carolina. I don't know what's gonna become of that fight. Like, no matter who wins that fight, I don't know what's gonna happen there. Jennifer Maia and Casey O'Neill, that's a good one though. She's coming back after a year layoff to fight Holly Holm, Yana Sky. Another March card fight. Not really looking forward to. Yeah. Oh, what y'all talking about? Oh, hold on. Hold on. He said, how do people watch boxing? Boxing's a good sport, man. I used to say, how do people watch grappling? But I like all combat sports as I got older. As I got older and much more into, just MMA period. I mean, I love boxing. I mean, hands over laying on somebody all day. Hands over. I mean, I love the fact that grappling, is such a critical part of MMA and what you can get done with it. But you know, punching somebody in the face is so much more gratifying. I think punching somebody in the face, footwork, hit not get hit. Not putting myself in a situation to get beat up. Boxing, Muay Thai, kickboxing. I love all of that. Chopping somebody's lead leg down, teep kicks to the stomach, a head kick. I mean, that's where your excitement is. I mean, grappling there's a science to it, and I respect it highly. But yeah, I've never really heard anybody question like punching somebody in the face. Like it's a good sport. That's the first thing that people are gonna do most of the times when you out in the street fight. You know, People are always gonna try to sucker punch you, right? So boxing comes in handy at first, but once they miss, a lot of cheap people, that's when they try to take you down. So yeah, you need to know everything, in my opinion. You need to know a little bit of everything. You need to be a street fight. You need to be a well-rounded fighter. That's why I like being a well-rounded fighter now, because once somebody swings on you, because the majority of the time, a lot of men don't know how to punch. They just swing their whole body into it. So when you throw a punch and you miss, that sour, poor sportsman dude, he can't punch you. So he's going to want to try to take you down and lay on you, especially if he's big. So you got to have takedown defense, or you got to know some Muay Thai, grab that neck and knee him in the face. You know what I mean? But that's usually what people do. They go for punching somebody in the face first, and then that grappling comes in. So it's good to know. It's good to know it all. But I love. I think there's more of a like prettier art to boxing. James Perez said, yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Lolita said Barber versus Lee. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that fight. James said, so between grappling match and boxing match, you prefer grappling. I prefer boxing. Boxing, as an entertainment level too, I watch boxing. I watch boxing. Now, if I wanted to learn and even just like entertainment, like if they're both on at the same time, I'm gonna watch the boxing match. I'm gonna watch the boxing match. But if grappling is on, I'm not gonna turn it off. Definitely not going to turn it off, because like I said, you can learn from it, and it is a sport. It is a combat sport that you can learn from and be entertained to. Just how quick somebody can get, their arm caught in a position that you be like, wow, I didn't know that could happen. You know. Gabby said, as well as Lupi and Pinheiro return, I want to see the adjustment they made. Okay, yeah, yeah. And you did say Bruno Brazil, I believe, right? Hold on. Yeah, Val Grasso, okay. And Yasmin Sendo, yeah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, and I said O'Neal. Yeah, Bruno Brazil. I want to see Bruno Brazil. I want to see what she can do. She's a good size straw weight. She's a good size straw weight. See, some of y'all just hung up on one thing, too one dimensional. I like it all, but well, you say you hate a fighter that point fights and doesn't have a ground game. Shoot, I like Joanna. Sound like you're trying to call out Joanna. Joanna fine to me. I mean, Joanna's a good example of a point fighter to me that makes it interesting. You ain't gotta have a ground game. She don't need a ground game. I mean, she did probably need one towards the later years, but Joanna's a good fighter. I like a point fighter. So it can expose people. Like Caitlin Chikagan, I like her style because she she can expose how bad some of these girls ground these girls IQ these girls IQ is. You know, their IQ is bad. Like she'll just take you apart. And I have fun with the science. I love the science. You know, Teron Brown, what's up, man? How about you, Teron? What are you a fan of? You're a fan of striking or just ground game? What's your favorite element of MMA? Or do you like grappling matches or boxing matches better? Closum said Whaley begs to differ. About what? Marcus, they're gonna fight at some point. They both talking too much. James Press said, "Give me a Pac-Man fight back in the prime." Oh hell yeah, exactly, James. Yeah, Pac-Man fight. Shoot, with that kind of hand speed, you ain't even gonna take somebody like Pac-Man to the ground. Teron says striking. I love striking, man. I love striking. You can end it all. Ain't no need for no submission. I like. That's why I'm a fan of Volkanovski. I know Teron, you want to talk some men. You know Volkanovski. Love Volkanovski's stand-up game. Max Holloway. In their own respective ways, man. Now, if you want to talk some men, Teron, go ahead, man. I don't know. I think Joanna still would have lost that fight because of her long layoff. I think she still would have lost because of the long layoff. Even if she went down to the ground, because at the time, Wei Lee already started improving in her game. Um, I think it just really has something to do with the rust on her, man. I mean, what's a good ground game if you ain't got good hands? You know what I mean? Like that's what it comes down to me. Like there's just gonna be good examples of both fighters from a striking background and a grappling background. To me, saying, "Oh, just because we like one above the other doesn't mean it's always going to be the best." One, you got to be well rounded. I mean, Valentina, that's all I got to say to Valentina. Even Wei Lee's learning it, right? Like she can strike. It wasn't grappling that beat Joanna. She knocked her out in the Carla fight. It was grappling that beat her. So you got to have everything, and that's what makes you an exciting fighter, man. Like being able to switch it up. Kareem, what's going on? He said, "What about Tony Ferguson's stand-up game?" Tony Ferguson got a good stand-up game. I like, he's a raw guy. He goes in there and gets it done. Who you got in that Chandler McGregor fight? Oh man, I'm gonna go with McGregor in that fight, Teron. I think I think well, man, I'm gonna go with McGregor. I think that his stand-up game is still better than Chandler's, and I still think his leg attack can be very effective in that fight. I think his straight punches are better. Um, the wild card factor of Chandler can make it interesting. He lands some good power shots. He get a little rough and dirty in there, but I don't know if he's got the stamina to hang. I mean, I know McGregor, he's been looking a little bit gassy too, but I think Conor McGregor still has a better skill level than Chandler. You think Chandler's gonna KO McGregor? I don't know. I don't know if he will, man. But yeah, speaking of boxing, man, mm, I see Pearl Gonzalez and Gina Mazzani are on this card with Roy Jones and Anthony Pettis. I'm kind of like, uh-oh. Hey, I mean, I guess Gina Mazzani trying to work on her hand game, right? Maybe she's trying to work on her hand game. Maybe she's trying to sharpen up her skills a little bit, get a paycheck at the same time. Pearl Gonzalez, she's been making her move to boxing and bare knuckle boxing now. She seems like that's where it's at. So hey, go ahead and make that move. I mean, she's not in the UFC anymore, right? So got to get your money. Lolita said, "I like when Islam got laid out with a punch." No, hold on. I mixed that comment up. Hold on. He said, "Who remembers when Islam got laid out with a punch?" And Lolita said, "I like Volkanovski, but Islam has some mad muscular stitcher." Yeah, I like. I'm going for Volkanovski winning fight. I'm pulling for him to win. James said, "I want to see how my boy Aldo does in boxing. Hope he does well." Yeah, I like Aldo, man. He was training with Mikey Garcia for a while out of with Robert Garcia and them. So maybe 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 he can translate this into something. Maybe even a few fights. I don't know if he ever pick up a belt, but we'll see. Colstrom said, example, in a stacked division, I don't see Marina becoming champion until she improves her ground game. Good striking won't always work. Well, that's true. But, good grappling won't always work either, too. That's why I'm saying, like, I think you have to be a well-rounded fighter. You know? Like, I favor striking more, but I can still say that you have to be a well-rounded fighter. You need the fundamentals of both skill sets. Like, even if I didn't like boxing, I wouldn't try to put it down and say you don't need it. Like, footwork is very important. So you can still see a lot of these fighters survive on their feet. Like Joanna won her belt and defended it 5 times with her striking, Even if you don't have sharp, even when she wasn't sharp on the ground, she still had very, very good takedown defense. And she was still very physically strong. But yeah, for Marina, yeah, for her to become champion, yeah, she got to become a well-rounded fighter. Lolita, you think she need more than 125? I don't know. Are you surprised that Walker got offered a fight inside the UFC or not really? Not really. I don't know. Marina Rodriguez at 125. She's kind of, like thin like Rose. I don't really see them physically feeling that weight. Like Joanna could fill out 125 nicely, the way she was built. But I don't really see her being in that category like that. Well, yeah, that's the argument me and BJ were always having. Like, Zach, I've already said this millions of times. Like, you don't have to be a great striker. You just need to know the fundamentals and the basics of it, and you got to make it work in your favor. So it still comes down to being able to use your hands. That's all I'm telling you. Like, Jillian Robertson, very good on the ground. Hand game, not so good, and that's why she's not ranked, right? So if you completely ignore hands like BJ used to, till I started telling him about the jab for years and years now, what I'm talking about, I'm not saying you got to be Floyd Mayweather with your hands, but you need to know how to work with your hands so you can get on the inside. So you still have to have some level of boxing or striking IQ, like Mackenzie Dern needs to, and she's working on, to get your fight to the ground. So you can say, hey, how did I get my takedown? Well, I had a good jab. I developed my jab. I developed that, you know. You don't have to be Floyd with your hands, but you got to be somewhat of a you got to be somewhat educated in how to use your hands, right? Not for the whole fight, maybe, but just to get a fight down to the ground. that still takes some that still takes some learning. That still takes some humbling to say, hey, I just can't be a wrestler. I just can't be a grappler. I gotta get with these strikers too, you know. Because Jillian Robinson, she could have been ranked by now, I think, if she had a hand game. But you see, Marina Rodriguez is ranked. You know, Marina may not have any ground game, but she's still ranked. You know, so I'm just kind of looking at that. Like, how did Marina get ranked with zero ground game? I mean, she survived throughout these other fights and still owns some of these girls on the feet. But Jillian, she submits a lot of unranked girls, but she can't get into the she can't get into the top. She can't get into the top 15. And she's a great submission artist when with some of these girls on the ground, she can submit them. But she couldn't submit like Tyler or Miranda either. Maybe she needed to have more of a hand game at the time when she was fighting those girls. Well, Cynthia Calvillo was. Cynthia Calvillo tried to wrestle it down a few times. That went ended in a draw, but I thought Marina won that fight. And Randa Marcos. Randa Marcos was another one. Tisha's a wrestler. Tisha can wrestle, but her striking kept her off of her, so she couldn't really get her down. Mackenzie Dern got her down, and she had no success. Yeah, I've always said that her ground game is defensive, and like she's got a defensive, a surviving type of ground game, but I would like to see her improve in it. Yeah, no lie, but I'm just saying, like, she did well getting to the top 5. She did well. Yeah, will that lack of ground game stop her getting the belt? Oh, it very much well could. Because even Miranda Maverick now, she's a very very physically strong fighter. Good on the ground. She's a brown belt, but even she's trying to get her striking on point now. She's trying to work out her striking. If Marina has no ground game, do you think Velismus has a chance to enter the rankings? I don't know. I think she could probably get if Poliana Viana can get in there. I think that Velismus has a chance to get in there. I think she can get in the rankings, but I don't know how she can get because they have two different styles, and I think Marina's length and her power somewhat has kind of slowed some girls down. Like, even though she hasn't knocked out a great deal of girls, I think that Marina has a very educated style of picking her shots. Velismus, she didn't fight. She doesn't fight for 3 rounds. I think Marina fights a little bit harder than her. So I think that maybe she could at least crack 15, but I don't know if she gets any higher. Oh yeah, we got Jessica Rose Clark fighting Lisboa. I guess Lisboa is gonna make her debut against a veteran in Jessica Rose Clark. So Jessica Rose Clark, what do you think? She could be on the chopping block here, because if she loses to a fighter making her debut, that might be the end of her. I think Lisboa, I've seen a few of her fights, more of a stand-up girl. So we'll see what she brings to the table. Or Marcus, she might end up in there due to a couple of fighters like getting pulled out on like retirement or like inactivity. She could wind up in there. Let's see. So yeah, we got this boxing coming up April 1st. I mean, yeah, that's just got a cash grab for Roy Jones and Anthony Pettis at this time. Leon Na and Brogan Sanchez. That's kind of a weird match because, I always thought Leon Na was well, she is a strawweight, but Brogan, after getting dominated by Juju Miller, she made it into the UFC. So we'll see where she stands here in the flyweight division. I mean, I'm pretty sure this is going to be 125 because sites I've seen they're posting it as 125. So we'll see. We'll see where this goes for. I mean, at least she's getting her chance, but the flyweight division right now, I think it's getting pretty tough. You're getting some good fighters in there. So beating somebody like Leon Na is just a way for her to get in, but that's not really going to be able to gauge us to tell us how good she is, or how she'll fare against some of them tougher flyweights. So we'll see. And who's Kareem Silva fighting? Zombie Girl, right? Yeah, I think I got Kareem Silva in that fight. All right, Robot Chicken. He said he taking Brogan Sanchez. Yeah, I think I got Brogan in that fight. Okay. Velismus versus Yasmin. Who wins? I think I'll go with Yasmin in that fight, Gabby. Man, Velismus did disappoint me in that last fight, man. She disappointed me. Velismus disappointed me in that Corey fight. But Corey was on her game. She started pumping that jab out in Velismus' face, threw her rhythm off, and yeah, got what she wanted in that fight. So hey, I ain't mad at her either. Robot Chicken said blessings to you. Thank you, man. Yeah, this Liz Bowen chick. I want to check out a few of her fights. Brogan. I thought she had like a knee problem in one fight. Hopefully, don't show up in this fight. Oh yeah, what I say? Yasmin and Velismus is a mismatch. I don't know. Why is that a mismatch? Because you said Yasmin needs to prove herself. So I mean, she hadn't really proven herself. So how is she mismatched against Velismus? Velismus is young. I mean, she's coming off of L, but like, how is that a mismatch compared to the other fight you said? I ain't never see that fight happening. You said Jinh Yu Fry was on the. I mean, you might be lying about that, but I never saw Jinh Yu Fry lined up the fighter. But yeah, Jinh Yu Fry. You said Jinh Yu Fry was a mismatch, but how is Velismus a mismatch? Gary Baldwin said Kareem Silva's coming for Zombie Girl's net. Yeah, I got Kareem Silva in that fight. Oh, James Perez, are y'all talking about Benavidez, Caleb Plant, or y'all ain't talking about boxing, are you? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, Brian, that's a good fight. Marcus said he thinks Cheyenne versus Yasmin will be good since both are strikers, and Cheyenne doesn't have to worry about takedowns, but Yasmin will be coming with her frying pan. Yeah, they both young too. That's a good fight. You said Velismus has no ground game. That's why. Well, you said Yasmin don't have a ground game, right? So we even. That's that's not a mismatch, man. A mismatch was Genu Fry. That's a mismatch because she's done. She's coming off from L's and she's older, but you still got two young fighters that need to prove themselves. That's not a mismatch. Velismus is still game. She ready to go. Yasmin is still out to prove herself. That's not a mismatch. Because that footwork could give her trouble. That footwork could give her trouble if she come running in. So she's gonna have to learn some discipline. Slow it down a little bit. So yeah, that's definitely not a mismatch. Robot Chicken said, who you got? Oh, and Caleb Plant. Hold on. Oh, James said, who you got? Caleb Plant or Benavidez? I got Benavidez. Benavidez is big, man. That dude is big. He throws a lot of punches, and he's just naturally big. He's just a naturally big super middleweight too, and his offense is a little too much. Caleb Plant got a good jab and he can box. Good left hand. He's a good left-handed fighter. Period. Good left hook. He could stain Benavidez a few times. I don't see him hurting him though. Benavidez versus face plant. I mean, Caleb Plant think he riding high off of that. What is that? Who is that? Darrell fight. Which hey, it was a knockout. It was a knockout. But Benavidez, that's a big boy right there, and I think he has a lot of volume, and his offense can be some problems for Caleb Plant. I don't know if Caleb Plant can hurt him. I don't know if Caleb Plant can get his respect. Yeah. She's more well rounded. Yasmin's a little bit more well rounded. I like her clinch game and her takedown defense, but oh, you wanted to see her ground game tested. I thought you said you want to see if she. No, that was Mark said you want to see her takedown defense. Yeah, I want to see her ground game tested at some point, but I want to see her takedown defense tested too. But yeah, it's still a good match. I mean, it's still a good fight because they're both young. You said I didn't say she was fighting Genu Fry. Somebody said it in the chat that day. I said that. You've been saying that a lot, though. I mean, you've been saying that in the chat a lot. I kept seeing it come up. That's why I was like, is it happening? Or are you just saying that? I heard you mention it. I ain't heard nobody mention it except you. I ain't gonna lie, man. I saw Genu Fry, Yasmin attached to your name many times. That's why every time I see it, I'm like, where is he seeing this? Is he just making this stuff up? Because I'm not seeing this. I mean, I know you don't like Yasmin, but I'm just saying, like, why are you trying to attach that girl's name to her, man? Come on. You said I didn't say she was fighting just with somebody in the chat. Yeah, I never saw it. I never seen it. I ain't never seen that. I'm just saying I ain't never seen anybody mention it except you mentioned. That's why I was like, I'm trying to see what he's talking about. Marcus said, if not Cheyenne, then I still wouldn't mind Yasmin fight. Corey McKenna, that's a good fight right there. Yeah, make the Corey McKenna fight. Yasmin versus Corey McKenna. That's probably the fight to make. Y'all want to see her ground game tested or takedown defense tested? That's a good one. Gary Baldwin, did you say that? Gary Baldwin, did you say Cheyenne? No, Gary Baldwin, did you say Yasmin versus Jinyu Fry? Yeah, I'm a fan. Like, I ain't never seen it because she coming off that hard loss too. I thought she was on the verge of retirement or being cut, so I ain't never see that. I mean, Haurigi versus McKenna, that would be a good fight though. Or Demopoulos. Or Loopy. No, I actually eating some crackers, sorry. Oh, you don't think Corey's yeah, I probably did, but was it from you though? I can't remember who said it exactly, but I remember you saying it more though, because you mentioned it more than once. Because you asked me too. You was like, "Are they trying to pot? Are they trying to feed her tomato cans because she's fighting? Because they're setting her up to fight Jinyu Fry." So I was like, "Are they really?" Corey McKenna won't be able to test her takedown defense just due to lack of athleticism. Probably right. Is that who you're talking about? Or Demopoulos? Demopoulos got some athleticism. The girl be splitting all over the place. I mean, her defense ain't great, so. No, I don't think that's a good fight either. Jacqueline Amram maybe came into the UFC and fought yet. The girl's 6-0, but she's fought like 6 first round finishes. No, I don't think so. That's not a good fight yet. Because if she wins, then you're gonna say she beat another tomato can because Yasmin Harigi still hasn't even gone 3 rounds in a fight yet. No, excuse me. Jacqueline Amram hasn't gone 3 rounds in a fight yet. She's got 6 first round finishes, but that's in LFA, you know? Like maybe give her one fight or something, and give her like a fight or two in the UFC first, and then talk. Okay, Gary Baldwin said I predicted Yasmin versus Jinyu Fry as a joke. He said, "Watch Jin B Yasmin's next fight is on the lines." What I said. Okay, yeah, I figured, man. Like it got to be a joke or something, man, because he he was riding with that thing. He kept bringing it up. That's why I was like, "Are you serious? This fight happening?" I was like, "That fight ain't happening." Yasmin versus Loopy, that'll be a good one. That'll be a good test for her. That's a close one. That'll tell you, some good moments on the ground, and that'll be a good moment to test Loopy's IQ. But yeah, Jacqueline Amram, yeah, no, I don't want to see Jacqueline Amram fight Yasmin yet, man. That girl, she gotta come into the UFC, make a good fight, make a good showing of herself first. Because yeah, if Yasmin beats her, then people gonna say, "Oh, she got an easy touch again, a real easy touch that just came into the UFC." So no. I think UFC needs to get these women who didn't win the PFL challenge and add them to the featherweight division. Yeah, that PFL card, that wasn't too bad, was it? That feather, the featherweight fights weren't bad. I mean, they had like 3 finishes, right? I thought that Jacqueline girl, what's that girl's name? Jackie. I thought she should have got it. Who's the other girl? That Montag girl. I wonder if she thought she was going to get it, but she didn't. But she needs somebody with some UFC experience ground game, though. Because Jacqueline Amarim, Jacqueline Amarim ain't even fought yet. They just signed her. So I want to see what she can do in the UFC first, against somebody else. If maybe she come through submitting some people. Wait a minute, which girl are you talking about? Jacqueline Cataline. Yeah. Yeah, Jacqueline Cataline. I thought she was gonna get the contract. Yeah, I was thinking she was because she got a finish. Some people seem kind of upset that the other girl got it. I think she was too. Jackie Cataline. Yeah. Yeah. The Brazilian girl was good too. What is her name? She was like 20 years old, right? Brazilian girl was good too. They signed a girl that got a decision. Yeah, that was backwards to me. Um, what, just because she was a headliner of the girls? I was like, yeah. I was thinking either Jackie was going to get it. I thought the Brazilian girl was going to get it too. Matter of fact, because I seen her fight before, and I was like, this girl's kind of tough. She's kind of young and she likes to go in there and fight. So the energy that she was bringing, I was like, maybe they're going to get her, but no, I didn't see that coming, man. I thought, well, if this was Dana, then we know they'd be going for finishes. So somebody that finished would do it. Yeah. That girl does kind of look like Carla Esparza. A redheaded white Carla Esparza. I thought that was just me. She do look like Carla because when I saw her, I was like, "Is that Carla Esparza right there?" Yeah, Robot Chicken said he loved Jackie. Yeah, that girl Jackie, I like her, man. Jacqueline versus Dudakova. Oh, that'd be a good fight. Dudakova still got the knee injury, right? But if that fight happens, I might pick. Yeah, I would pick Amram. I was more impressed with her fighting style. Okay, yeah, the Brazilian girl Evelyn Martins. Yeah, Evelyn Martins. I thought she would have got it, or Jackie. Yeah, that girl do look like Carla Esparza though, man. Y'all know that girl look like Carla. What is her name? Hold on. Levy. Is it Levy? I thought that was Carla Esparza at first. I was like, yeah, she do look like Carla, man. But yeah, grab all these girls and make the UFC featherweight division. Go ahead and make that happen. That first fight was kind of interesting with what is her name? Shakita Woods Shakita Woods and Montag. That was kind of an interesting fight. That Mastermind, what's up? He said Amanda. Do you think Michelle Montag could go down to 135? She teased it. I think she. Let me look at. Yeah, I think she could. Like her, she doesn't have a lot of like too much muscle to lose, and she doesn't have like a lot of like fat on her body. She's She's kind of mostly muscle, so it might be a little tough. But if she was to move down, hey, the UFC could use somebody like her. Like she's not like this big girl to be, in the featherweight division. I mean, you look at her size, yeah, she could be like 135. Yeah, the girls that got finishes, man, they should have got contracts, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Why are they gonna award one girl the contract? That's kind of weird how they do their setup. Like they could have signed all those girls. Just sign them all, man, because that's what they need right now. So I'm assuming that's what they're gonna do February 24th when they do the flyweights, right? When they do the flyweights in a couple weeks or three, yeah, in a couple more weeks, they're gonna do the same thing, award the winner a contract. I believe Caitlin Neal is in that one from the Tough House. Helen Peralta's in there, and you got Shanna Young, who had just got cut from the UFC. She's in there, so we'll see. Mastermind said Amanda, that girl who looked like. Oh, okay, yeah. I couldn't. I was looking at her last name, like Levy or Leave. Amanda, yeah. Marcus said it. I was like, I said it to myself that night I was watching. I said she like Carla, but yeah, I know I wasn't the only one. Right. You just give the girl money, give that girl money, give her like a contract, and then you give the other girl, give the other girls a contract, right? I see Mastermind. He said, well, I was looking at a notification here. Mastermind said Grasso's gonna be bringing that heat, man. You think so, man? How you think Grasso gonna do it, man? I just need to know. Like, how do you see her doing it, Mastermind? Like, what type of style is Grasso gonna bring to disrupt Valentina in this fight? I just want to know your opinion. I mean, a lot of people, she got some people that think she's gonna do it. I'm not really one of them. I mean, anything can happen. I'm just really, really trying to think hard on what she can do to frustrate Valentina at this point. Like I haven't seen Valentina age or look physically out of it or like she's just done. She's still got she still got that it factor about her, man, that killer factor. Oh yeah, and the last thing I just wanted to say too, yeah, I saw Andrade talking about her OnlyFans and how she got rid of that. I'm glad she did, man. I mean, if it wasn't for her, she shouldn't have been doing it anyway. And I mean, it's definitely not for her. I mean, if somebody had to send me pictures of that. I mean, told me to look at it, and I was like, oh man, come on now. Like, no, that she shouldn't have been doing that stuff anyway. She said it kind of triggered like some past things she's gone through, like abuse. So, if that's not for her, don't do it. And I'm glad she got rid of that. I mean, I get kind of sick of all these girls with OnlyFans. I'm really like I am, man. I'm just really getting sick of that. Maybe because I'm old fashioned, but I just get sick of that. Everybody has to have that to make money now. Like they can't do anything else. Like why? And she's just not the type. Like Andrade is just not the type for that. I mean, you can get an OnlyFans, but like get it like Chris Cyborg and like Sarge. It doesn't all have to be nudity or anything like that. Like if you want to have the OnlyFans, just use it as a training. Um, just use it as like a training spot where her fans can stay updated on her and her fights and things like that. But it didn't have to be like this wow, you know what I mean? Like this whole thing where she just turned it out and just started doing some crazy stuff like that. So it hit her hard. So, I'm just glad that she got rid of it. If O'Neal wins against Maya, who's next for her? Ooh, if Casey O'Neal beats Jennifer Maya, I think either Lauren Murphy or Caitlin Chikagan will be next, Gabby. For one, Lauren Murphy would be good because Lauren said Casey O'Neal fights better than she talks. No, she talks better than she fights. Sorry. Lauren Murphy said Casey O'Neal talks better than she fights. So those are words of war right there. Those are fighting words. So if she beats Jennifer Maya, I think she should fight Chikagan or Lauren Murphy. And I would want to see Lauren Murphy because of that fact right there. I think Grasso will make Shevchenko look unimpressive but lose a decision. Okay, that's honesty right there. I know you high on Grasso, her chances, but you being honest. Yeah, okay. Looking unimpressive, I still have trouble seeing that, but it's a possibility. I think Grasso can hang with Valentina. She's been fighting too long. I think Val is at the best, but Grasso can shine fight night. Grasso has power and youth in her. Val basically has lost her steps. 1-2. You said fight won't be very entertaining. A lot of outside distance measuring. Volume, yeah. Grasso gonna have to get some volume off at angles. I see Grasso having to use angles. Don't stand in front of her. And I'm telling you, man, set a trap, man. If Grasso can set a nice trap with that uppercut, she could catch Valentina. I'm serious. Valentina coming with that left hand sometime with her head straight in. She can catch with that uppercut. Like sometimes she lean forward off her left hand or she try to Superman punch you with the left hand. Or she just time like the end of her leg kick as she's throwing a leg kick. She could catch her with a straight right hand. Those are going to be some good moments for her. And then when she catches her, she has to be ready for the follow-up because when Val gets caught or she's falling behind on points, she's going to get mad and she's going to come after you. So more uppercuts as she comes in. She's a boxer, so she won't throw them boxing, and she got to have uppercuts. Going to be an important punch in this fight, I think. Because Val's already going to be looking for the straight punches, but when Valentina thinks she's got her on the move or near the cage, she catches with an uppercut, man. That's something Valentina ain't really been hit with, like a good uppercut from a good boxer. I know it sounds crazy to some people, but I'm telling you, uppercut going to be an important punch in that fight. Uppercut, angles, just using some angles and not really much for a jab, but like a left hook. Robot Chickens, I'm still one of the few people that believes Lauren Murphy shouldn't be ranked so high. Yeah. Well, she did go on a nice win streak, and her only loss at the time was, she hadn't lost to anybody for a while, and she lost to the champion. She beat Misha Tate, which ain't really saying a great deal, but now she lost to Andrade. Yeah. Gabby said, "Do you think O'Neal calls out Andrade?" I don't think so. I don't think she'll call out Andrade. I think she'll call out Lauren and Chikagan first. Robot Chicken said, "Can we please have Mark Smith as a ref for Valentina fights? He has no problem taking points away for headbutts." Yeah, headbutt could happen. Southpaw Orthodox. It could happen in this fight. Mastermind said, "Val tried to stand with Grasso. It's a big mistake. She's going to get tagged." I'm going to go back and watch some Grasso fights and just see how it kind of plays and comes into play, man. Colostrum said, if Grasso gets hit, if Grasso gets Val on the ground, do you think she'll go after her or let her up? I'm trying to play it out in my mind to see what type of fighter Grasso is here. I think it depends on how she feels. I think it depends, like, on the strength factor. Like, she might get takedowns to just take rounds, but if she doesn't really feel like the strength factor in Valentina, I could see her keeping Val down. All right. Like, if Valentina doesn't offer much on her back and she feels like she can get it, and she can transition her back and she's not really feeling the strength there, or if Grassel's strong enough at this point, Grassel will keep it on the ground. But if she feels it, I think she'll just use those moments to kind of lay a little bit, then get back up, reset, maybe take Valentina down again to win a round. You know what I mean? Like, she's not going to really want to grapple, I think, if she feels that strength of Valentino, in that moment, like in that top position, or if she gets reversed, she's going to be like, no, we're going to stay on the feet. Or who knows, like if she does keep her down, she might be thinking, let me hold on for dear life and win these rounds and just stay here, stay in this top position. But hopefully it doesn't turn out that way. And if it does, the ref stands them up because I want action. But supposedly she's been working on the ground game and everything. She's been stepping it up. But yeah, guys, I'm going to get up out of here now. I'm getting up out. Shout out to everybody in chat. Good conversation as always. I'll catch y'all not tomorrow. Maybe the weekend. We'll watch fights. After I get my stuff done on Friday, I'll be up and out. So yeah, I'm serious. Hold on for dear life. I mean, if she gets it down, she's gonna be like, I gotta hold on here and win this round. You know what I mean? Make it work. Like Jennifer Maia got a round, right? She got to do that for 5 rounds. All right, hit that like button and subscribe, y'all. Shout out to y'all in the chat. I'm on the road. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.